Hello, and thank you for joining me. Today I want to talk about sobriety and sociability. When we choose sobriety, we also have to choose to safeguard our sobriety. That means to protect ourselves in a shell or cocoon from circumstances and certain people that drink and use addictively. And it's so important. There's an expression that can be heard in most 12-step rooms, and is to change people, places, and things. And it is essential, especially in early recovery. It's very dangerous when you're trying to stay clean and sober and you know that you're an addict and an alcoholic and it's not safe for you or others when you drink or use. Then it's really important to not put yourself in those situations. Sometimes they're unavoidable, um, or sometimes it's like it's accidental, that you find yourself in a circumstance like this. I would be careful to not to purposely put myself in a circumstance like this. I've been in recovery for 12 years, actually 13 now. And so, I've learned a lot over the years. I have also made many mistakes and I've learned from them as well. Tonight, I tried to go outside my house and be a little bit social. And that's like literally within my building, like on the property. That's my sociability. But um, so I went to try and be social with the other mothers, and they're talking about drinking and using. And in specific, there was this one conversation that came up, and it super, super triggered me. Now, I'm not judging anyone. People can choose whatever they want for their life. We all have choices to make. I choose sobriety because if I don't have sobriety, then I don't have a life. I don't have my kids. I don't have my sanity. I don't have my health. I don't have a home. I have nothing without sobriety. So I know this, and I know that it is really dangerous for me to drink or use because I've overdosed so many times in my life. Alcohol poisoning, grand mal seizures, blackouts every time. It just kept getting more and more dangerous for me and those around me. And thank God I'm sober because I'm a danger to myself and others. If I was drinking. Um, and so I'm still an addict though at the end of the day. And the truth is, like, I haven't been to a meeting in a while except for the online virtual crap. And I've moved around so much this year and last because, I was fleeing domestic violence. I just came out of a relationship that was really ugly, really messy. Hearing this woman talk tonight about this one circumstance between her and this guy in the car with drugs, I instantly had a trigger of my husband and all the women that he has cheated on me with in cars with drugs over the last few years, and it hurts so fucking bad to think about it and have those visions. And I'm trying so hard to heal from that. And the fact that I stayed sober throughout this relationship, I mean, it's a miracle. He looks at me and he says that, oh, I could never imagine you as an alcoholic or a coke addict or whatever else. And I'm like, really? Like, if you only knew, but you don't want to know. He coaxed me one time to use with him, I remember, but for the most part, this is the biggest reason, I think probably the only reason why he cheated on me because, we had great chemistry ourselves and everything, but I wouldn't do drugs with him. and these women would do drugs with him and blow him, and of course drugs and money was involved, and I stayed sober through that. And so that was difficult. I'm not gonna lie, there was a few times when my addict self tried to come forward, and I actually thought about using, because I'm like, fuck, man, if I was relapsing, we would still be together. He wouldn't be cheating on me with these other women if I was relapsing. And that's my addict speaking. And then I just fucking shook my head and I'm like, nah, man, like, my kids are so important to me. I've made so many mistakes as a parent in my early 20s, and then when I relapsed a little bit in my late 20s, and now I just want to be a parent. I have 4 kids. My older 2 are not living with me because of the mistakes that I've made with men, and then in the past with the drugs and the alcohol. And I'm grateful to have sobriety, but it's hard sometimes because it's hard to find sober people. And that's the truth. And especially with this lockdown society, and everything being online, like, it's not the same. It's so impersonal. I just found out that um, some of the meetings are reopening in my city, like in person. One that I know of for sure, it's on Tuesdays and Fridays. But I don't know. Um, I think I'm gonna check it out. I'm a little bit nervous at the same time too. I've met a lot of mistakes in the rooms. And what I mean by that, of course, is like, meeting someone and shacking up with them. It usually ends up being a mistake, and I don't want to do that. Um, like, I'm obviously gonna try and stay focused on the right things in my recovery. I can't afford any confusions right now. Oh, oh my god. Yeah, so that was hard. That was really hard, having being triggered like that, um and then also having those flashes, of my husband with those other women. And it just, like, it hurts so fucking bad. Like, there's just an intense ache in my chest still. And you know what? There probably always will be. I mean, obviously it's gonna get better with time. It has to, but it's so hard. Hi, Biggie. This is my my little joy. What are you looking at? But you know what? I can't risk my sobriety because I can't risk my ability to parent. And I know that I crossed that line a long time ago, and became an addict and an alcoholic, and I have been for all my life. And I can't play that game anymore. I can't take those chances. I will be sober for the rest of my life. I care about my babies too much. He is not my ex is not at the point where um, he's finished or willing to give it up for his children, which is sad because I mean he could have had an opportunity to be a parent again, to be a dad again. He has one grown son and then our 2-year-old daughter. Yeah, so that was hard. So I had to leave that social situation. So sobriety and sociability. It's best if you can make some connections with some sober people. It's difficult when you're going to meetings in a virtual platform. Um, yeah, it's hard because it seems like everybody drinks and uses and parties, and it seems like sober ones like are so few and far between. It makes for a pretty lonely life.